One thing about when you do what you love and what you're passionate about, the focus is not really about money. The focus is about the joy or the fulfillment that that thing brings to you. So there's something that you naturally do that even if nobody pays you a dime, you will do it. My name is Doyin. I'm a psych nurse practitioner. Welcome to Rethink Life with Doyin, where we unlearn to relearn.
On your path of how to stay committed to your purpose, one most important thing you're going to need a mind of prayer. Prayer is key. You don't have to spend 100 years or hours praying, but you're going to need, in order to stay the journey, there'll be moments you'll feel like you want to give up. You're going to realize and recognize that you can't give up. You cannot, because it's who you are. So you cannot give up on yourself. So you're going to have to keep pushing forward. But one thing that's going to help you on this journey is that when you are in your purpose driven journey in life, it's going to come with some frustration, yes, but you're going to feel liberated at the same time. There'll be more liberation, right? There'll be more liberation, much more than pain. You will go through the pain, don't get it wrong, right? You will go through the suffering a little bit, but it won't be so much. Okay, because when I say liberation, I'm talking about you coming up with fresher ideas, newer ways of doing things, exploring new things, realizing you have much more deeper gifts than you could ever imagine. So the prayer is needed. You can just say one word or two words, to your spirit being. Sometimes you may be going through things that you cannot even articulate, what you feel. Okay, well, your spirit listens to you. So whether it's conscious living or whether it's Holy Spirit or whatever that is, understand you're going to need that. It is a form of mental therapy to verbalize in your spirit and also to speak it out loud for rejuvenation. I love to ask. I can pray to God and ask for things, but what I do is I give more of thanks. And I pray, my prayer is always that I hope and I pray that God's will for my life aligns with my will, right? My life desires. So I pray that my life desires, my life will aligns with God's will for my life. Because I don't want to go ask for something that is not necessarily what should be ideal for my life or my design. So that's what I do. Another thing I do is sometimes I just say one word or two or three sentences, or I just say one sentence and I say, God, help me with this. It doesn't have to be a long conversation, but because your Father, your God, whoever you believe in, knows what you need. So, you're going to need prayer. It doesn't have to be a long prayer. You don't have to be asking for food to eat and bread to take and all that stuff. You can ask for it, don't get it wrong, but I'm just saying, like in this life purpose, you will need prayer to be able to continue this journey. Just follow your inner guide, follow the Holy Spirit if you believe in the Holy Spirit, or follow the conscious living and try to stay in the path of righteousness. I'm gonna need that. Just want to add one more thing. Being nice does not mean you don't speak up for yourself. If you're on the path of purpose living and you're having to fight for a cause, you know, it's okay to go ahead and fight for a cause and be verbal about it. So, but at the same time, you would need the rejuvenation of their spirit being to help you on this path, whatever that is that you're doing. Okay? Listen to your heart, listen to your mind, and listen to your spirit being. It keeps you on the path of righteousness, and it would never steer you wrong.
I'm going to play something for you tonight, and I thought that was very empowering.
People don't have the patience to dedicate 4 years to building their own business, but somehow they'll happily have the patience to work 40 years for someone else.
All right. So that was from Zaman official. That was what he said, right? And I found this to be very interesting, and that is true, right? It's so crazy because let's think about it. And I'm not saying people should go ahead and abandon their job that they do right now, but it's just very interesting that when it comes to opening your business, people don't really understand or realize that yes, it's going to take a lot of work, but that work that is going to require is going to be less years of strain, less years of painful journey, right? Compared to, like, for example, let's say you have to work hard for 4 years versus having to work hard for 40 years in something that does not fulfill you, right? So if you're working 4 years into something that actually is going to yield something greater than yourself, I think that's worth it versus working 40 years in doing something that really actually takes away, sucks the life out of you. And unfortunately, right, most of us, we feel, and I'm also part of this journey, right? We were told and we were taught to go ahead and, try to make money. And one thing that I've found is that when you pursue money, you will pursue it tirelessly. You would chase after money like nobody's business. You will work hard. You would, like, literally, you keep chasing after it, but you never catch up. It's kind of crazy. But when you actually do something that you're meant to be, you will make money and you will love what you still do. And you will also feel fulfilled and freed. It's quite interesting. And of course, I'm not bashing anyone. That of course we all, have our journey and we discover ourselves differently. But this is why this channel is here. So let's talk about what the topic is all about tonight: how to stay committed to your purpose. There was something that I also found tonight. There's a guy, his name is Brain Jotter, and he actually spoke about how to monetize your passion, right? He's a comedian. And and I found that what he spoke about was very interesting. I really enjoyed it. And I'm going to share a little bit of that with you, and then we're going to talk about into the steps of how to stay committed to your purpose. I'm going to ask you a question. The question is, can you be whatever you want to be? Yes or no? Because most of the time when we hear from a lot of motivational speakers, they talk about how we can be whatever we put our mind to, right? And is that really true? Let's even say, yes, you decide to be what you want to be. What I'm going to tell you is, actually, that's a big lie. You cannot be whatever you want to be. It is something that we have been told all of our lives. You put your mind to it, you can become that. Okay, you become that. But then what about people, for example, let's say you don't know what it entails to open a restaurant, right? Let's just say let's say someone told you that, man, guess what, man? AI, or better yet, a restaurant, that's what's booming right now, or being a carpenter or contractor, that is what's booming right now. And you're like, yeah, 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 I want to do it. Right. And most of us, we go ahead and, because we can, it's in vogue right now. So everybody will go ahead and say, yeah, yeah, I have what it takes. Right. So you go ahead and borrow money. You go ahead and do what you got to do. Right. Most of the time, you may be clueless in this area. So you go ahead and try to get, coaching or teaching or mentorship. And yes, you may be that. But there's a difference between struggling and striving, right? Or thriving in what you're doing. And I'll explain to you what I mean a little bit more. But the question is that, can you really thrive in whatever you want to be? Can you thrive in just anything? How come you're not a carpenter? How come you're not a janitor? How come you don't open, you're not a CEO? How come you're not a musician? If that is the case, do you think you can do what Beyonce does? Right? If we really can all be what we want to be, if we put our mind to it, then how come we're not the legends we see? How come we're not, really, really become, we're not thriving in whatever the ideas? How come businesses decide to close, even though they did decide to venture into that business? Why is that? So the real truth here is not that you can be whatever you want to be. You can choose to be that, but doesn't mean you'll thrive in it. The real answer actually is, you can be whatever you're designed to be. That's the real truth there. You can be whatever you are designed to be. There is something that you are designed to be. Someone, for example, it could be that their design is to not just be in comedy, but to do things similar to comedy in multiple things that they do. For example, I am a psych nurse practitioner, right? And I could have maybe thrive in, let's say, I could have thought about, let's say, doing let me think. Okay, let me give you an idea. Event planning. I could decide and say, you know what, that's what's in vogue. They're making money there. And I could say to myself, I want to be an event planner. I can go ahead and do it. But would I enjoy it? Would I really thrive for life in that area? Or would I be really, really struggling? Trust me, with what I know about myself, I will be struggling like nobody's business, because I am not someone that really enjoys to be doing things hands on. I'm a thinker and I like to think of easier ways to get things done and quickly. And one thing I also found is that it said that thinkers are actually, we're lazy. We try to find easy ways to get things done quickly. You were not into all the details like an event planner possibly is. So you really want to know, what are you designed to be? Who are you? Everybody has what they're gifted at. And what I'm gifted in is not necessarily what you're gifted in. For example, right, I have a friend. She's very good at cooking. I may enjoy cooking, but does not mean I want to go open a restaurant. If I go ahead and try to open a restaurant, I'm gonna fail. It's not is I can't withstand the stress of standing, being on my feet. I can't do that. It's not me. That's the same idea about you. You can say, you know what? Yeah, you want to open a restaurant, but can you set the heat when you're in the kitchen? Can you stand, are you built for that career path you're in? For example, I could say I want to go do it. I have the tendency to, I can braid hair, but can I sit there and plait someone's hair for 12 hours? Or am I going to be struggling and in pain while I'm doing that? And I will feel like, this is heavy work. So yes, you can put your mind to it, but it does not mean that you enjoy it. And it does not mean that it liberates you. You will struggle through it. So you can decide and go ahead and say, you know what, I want to be that. But when it comes to becoming that, it may not be in your gifting. But each one of us is designed to be a certain thing. You must discover what that is for yourself. So a lot of motivational speakers will tell you, oh, don't give up. You can put your mind to it. Why do you think people go ahead and do something, they venture into it, or because their friends said, go ahead and do it? They do it and then they say, oh, and then they turn around and say, well, it was because she told me to do it. That was why, they stop putting the blame. They complain, 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 complain. So again, it's not that you cannot, right? You can choose to want to do that, but it does not mean that you're going to thrive in that area. You go become it and you feel like you're working so hard. You go become it because you're not in your design. Let's say, like I tell people, your design, let's say you are a fruit and you're supposed to be an apple tree, right? But you are in the wrong environment. So guess what? You put an apple seed on a concrete floor. Is that going to germinate to being an apple tree? It's not. It's just going to be a seed, an apple seed on a cement floor or on a concrete floor. It will never germinate to its potential, its full potential, because you are in the wrong area for life. Somebody is like me saying I want to go become. Let's put it another way. Another one would be I want to go be. I want to do AI. I want to do tech. Right? I may not be gifted in tech, so guess what? I'll struggle. But someone else, it comes naturally to them because that's what they're designed to be. So those kind of people will innovate and they will be the best in that environment. So it's not about doing or just doing whatever is in vogue, right? Sometimes people also feel very discouraged because they feel like, man, the talents I have compared to the talents of like AI tech is making money. That's what's in vogue right now. They don't see people that have done what they haven't seen. Let's say someone selling food be a billionaire, but they see people that are doing tech being billionaires. So in their head is like, oh, let me go ahead and abandon what I really think I'm good at, because what's gonna make money is gonna be tech. So let me go ahead and do that. But you're not gifted in it. So you can decide and say, I want to venture into it, but can you be that next legend? No. You have to do what you're designed to be. So now let's go here, right? So this is something that, like I said, I heard from the Brian Jotter, right? He said, like I said, he also gave an example of being an actor. He's a comedian. Yes, he is a professional. Is an actor, right? He's a comedian, and he does a lot of roles whereby he's acting. But he said, for example, he cannot do serious movies because if he does serious movies, he starts laughing. So he realized that, hey, I gotta stay focused in my area of comedy, even though he's acting, but he knew his area that he would thrive in. So he leaned towards comedy. So the same thing applies. So people are busy pursuing what they want to be. Most of the time, I'm sure before I got here, and I'm sure most of us can also relate, right? We don't know what we want to do with our lives. Some people, they feel clueless. They feel like, okay, I'm just alive, I'm awake, and you're just trying to figure out what's gonna stick, right? You want to make money. So you're trying to find out and venture and just tap into something that you think you'll be good at. But then you just keep doing a lot of trial and error. They would do any job and they feel like they will do a great job at it, right? But there is something that you naturally do every day. There is something you are very good at. And most of the time you put it on the wayside, right? Because you, like I said, you have not seen anyone that has done it. And as a result, you feel like, okay, I can't make money out of it, right? Because Elon Musk right now, he's making money. So you think, hey, let me go into that career path. I'll make more money. One thing about when you do what you love, right? And what you're passionate about, the focus is not really about money. The focus is about the joy that or the fulfillment that that thing brings to you. So there's something that you naturally do that even if nobody pays you a dime, you will do it. So for example, let's say someone motivates you to want to do something, right? You most of the time when people motivate you, right, they see your potential, or better yet, maybe you think you can make money out of it. Now you're not making money. Now it's a lot of work. A lot of times, right, when people are not in their gifting or their niche for life, they oftentimes will probably close the business. They will abandon it. They will complain. They don't have that resilience to overcome the problems that comes along their way because their vision is I gotta make money. So if they're not making money, pshit, let's exit, right? So at the end of the day, they will close that business. So one thing I've discovered is that when you are not in your niche or your gifting, right, or your design for life, you often abandon that thing that you somebody you were like, oh, he and she told me to go do it. That's why I did it. You will complain and put the blame on others, right? It dampens your spirit. Oftentimes people will they will cut the journey short. They often close quickly, they give up, and they complain, complain, complain. Now, when you do something that is who you are, that is what you're designed to be, don't get it wrong. Would you also maybe complain? Yeah, you will in some extent. There'll be some complaints here and there, but you will find more fulfillment instead, right? Even if when you feel like, man, I feel like I can't, man, I feel like I can't do this, right? I feel like, I'm not sure. You will have those moments, but you will always you will feel energized to want to overcome that. Because the passion is greater. What you want to solve or make it a reality will be greater. So you will always keep persevering. You will always keep persevering. You will always, like, even when you lose when you lose money, right? And this is why I talk about making sure you follow your inner guide, because that mentorship of the spirit guide or whatever you believe in is going to steer you in the right direction to ensure you don't make a lot of mistakes, so you don't have to suffer. You want to, like I said, I always compare it to that red dress. You want it to be that red dress that everybody, you wear it and everybody's like, wow, man, yo, that dress was made for you. That's exactly how it works when you discover your life purpose and you lean within your spirit to let it guide you. Not every move is the right move. And not every move you cannot make, even if it's a great move, you want the spirit guide to literally show you what the next move is going to be. Okay. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. So even if, let's assume, you do have a little bit of a setback, that setback, when you discover and you are in your right design, is going to motivate you. It's going to make you feel gingered. You're going to be energized. It's going to motivate you instead of dampen your spirit. You are going to try to look into a way to overcome. It's going to be tough, but you're going to keep trying to find a way to try to rise above the issue. That is the difference when you do what is naturally you. Even when you try to abandon it, you will discover that you really cannot abandon it because it's you, it's who you are. So you always want to try to work at it and make it better. So you will keep persevering and you will want to make it work well. So because this is who you are, right? Another thing is I discover is that when you are in your design, there is no plan B. There is no plan B. Your plan A is always the plan. So even when you're, let's say you're working another job, right? While you want to make sure you're working a job that will also refine your gifts. Very important. So, and I'll explain to you, that's when I say you have to discover your niche, because your niche is in the right environment. So let's say, for example, someone that is gifted, right? It's not just about gifting. There's a lot more, like I said, when I talk about how to discover your purpose. But let's assume someone is gifted in photography. You want to make sure that, for example, you'll go ahead and, let's say, work in an environment that will allow for the refining of that gift. And it's like I said, it's not just about pursuing a talent. There's a difference between talent and your purpose and passion. And like I said, I explained that in my last video. I can also go over that. There's no plan B. You will do multiple things. For example, people may wonder, Doyin, okay, I'm an MC, I'm a psych nurse practitioner, I open my business, I'm coaching, I also sing, right? But the whole idea is that it sounds like I'm doing a whole lot of things, but sincerely speaking, I'm doing a whole lot of things of the same thing. Okay. So it's just in different variation. And that's exactly what it looks like. So, that's exactly what it looks like. Now let's go into the real talk tonight, right? How to stay committed to your purpose. So this part of what about is about ensuring, right? Part of being in your purpose. The reason I went over this part is because to stay committed to your purpose, you have to make sure it's not about doing whatever you want to do or whatever you want to be. It's about being in the right niche and doing what you're designed to be. Okay? What you're designed to be. Now, let's go here. I have a few steps. I have about 10 steps of how to stay committed to your purpose. The guy, his name is Dara. We had a conversation. He was also on one of my live when I went on Instagram. And he asked me the question. He said that oftentimes it's very hard when people, let's say you discovered your life purpose, it's very hard to get going. It's very hard to keep steady on that journey of really allowing that to come to fruition. I always give example of the phone, right? This phone or even the computer we have, right? You think, I mean, nobody would ever think that we would be using our faces to open up, or even using our thumbprints to open up our phones, right? So, but now we do. But that idea, what at one point was a stupid idea. Imagine someone telling somebody, "Oh, we're gonna be flying planes." Right? It was because someone decided to follow their passion. They decided to follow their purpose. They decided to solve a problem in the world. That is why we have those today. And that is why I tell you guys, it's not about, yes, it's great to have children, but the real death of humanity is the death of ideas. The real death of humanity is the death of ideas. Imagine when COVID happened. If we did not come up, if they did not come up with vaccines, or better yet, they were in some things in place, like Zoom meetings or whatever that is. Somebody did not decide to do those things. Can you imagine how we would have not lived the best life? Or better yet, when we had, Sandy, and we had the water that was, the water or whatever, the lights were gone and everything. We had, like, there were some things in place, right, that allowed us to be able to live the life we wanted. So when we develop ideas that we have in mind, we make life easier for ourselves and also for the world. That's what it is. And that is why it's very important that people live in their gifting. You are all important. Everyone is needed. So they can't do anything like you do. You are important and you are needed. Nobody can do what you do, okay, but you. So let's go here. The first step, how to stay the journey to live in your purpose. Number one, you want to know your why. Why are you doing anything? Why are you doing this? Because knowing your why is going to be what is going to help you for the long run. Okay? Knowing your why is going to help you for the long run. That is something that you're going to always fall back on when you feel like I want to give up. You got to know why you're doing anything. Because if you don't know why you're doing anything, right? It's the if you don't have a vision in mind, or you don't even know the vision that of what you want to solve, if you don't know why you're doing anything, then abuse is inevitable. It's like marriage. If you don't know why you're married, why are you married to this person? Right? You got to know why, because when the tough goes going, when the tough gets going, you want to wonder, you want to ask yourself, why did I even go into this situation? What was the reason I did that? Right? Why, if, for example, let's say nursing or the career path you may be in, why did you go into nursing? So you want to know your why. So, and hopefully your why is a good why, okay, that will be able to stand the test of time. Let's go a little further. So why are you doing this? For what purpose and what impact do you want to impact in the world? What is the reason? Right? What is your motive? It's like, so know your why. Why do you want to do anything? That's very important. Now, number two, you want to do your research, right? Life unfolds. How to stay the journey to living your purpose. You know your why, number one. Do your research because it's very important. Let me explain to you what I mean by that. Life will unfold the step that you need. When you know your why, right? It's like, it's like you're watching a movie and life will really reveal what the next step is. Why do I want to do anything? You are the only one that sees, you are the only one, like the vision you have, you're the only one that sees that. It's literally like, imagine you know the end of a movie, but now you have to go into the details. You're the only one that sees the vision. Nobody else sees it first. So you want to go ahead and do your research. Life is going to unfold the next step for you as you go on this journey. You also want to do, when I said do your research, I went over already in the last video, I went over how to overcome your fears. I spoke about, if you have any kind of fear in your mind, you want to go ahead and ask yourself, okay, this is my fear, or better yet, I want to open a business. Okay, my fear is that nobody's going to love my food, or my fear is that I'm going to close the business. Then you say to yourself, okay, and what if that happens? What would I do then? Right? What if that happens? What would I do? Right? Come up with ideas. Like I said, you can watch the video. So know your why, do your research, right? Because life is unfolding to you one step at a time. And I always ask people, another thing is conscious living. So know your why, life unfolds, do your research. Those are two. Now, number three, mindfulness, conscious living. I always ask people, I say, if you are the only one on earth, how would you know you're doing the right thing? How would you know? The only way you're going to know is because everybody has a consciousness. We all feel it within our spirit, and it feels right to you. What feels right to me and what feels right to you may be very different. Okay? So that is why you want to lean within that, right? It feels right within you. That's how you know. So so the next step is to ask your doubts, right? You want to ask your doubts. You want to go call into action. Whenever you feel anxious or you feel fearful, right? You're afraid to tackle an issue, right? You're fearful, you're doubtful. Think about yourself. You're the CEO of a company. This body, you're the CEO. Your managers, which are your feelings, your emotions, and everything, are like out of whack. The question you want to ask yourself, right, if you feel anxious, is what am I supposed to do here? Your anxiety is a call to action. That means there's something that I need to do here. Doubt and self-doubt is not a bad thing. It's a good thing when you utilize it as your strength. What you need to focus on right now, your next future is the next second. Your future is the next second. It's not 3 months down the line. What you need to do is right in this present moment. Just focus on that. Right? Even the Bible talks about don't be anxious for anything. Leave the future to take care of itself. Same idea. Now, the next thing is I want to talk about this area, right? So you want to go ahead whenever you are doubtful, positive reading, contents, listen to podcasts. You want to go ahead and utilize your doubts in as a like your managers. You want to utilize them and put them to action. The next thing is that another thing I want you to tell you is, like, for example, maybe when you're feeling doubtful, you may also, for example, maybe share ideas with your friends, right? Or you share ideas with someone. Don't get it wrong. People, of course, people can steal your idea. I get the whole idea, but nobody can steal your passion or purpose. Nobody can steal that. And I went over a video about no one can steal your idea when you are living in your purpose. They would want to mimic, don't get it wrong, but because you have a bigger vision in mind, you're the one that sees it. This is your calling. So nobody can do it the way you do. Okay. Now, and I have experienced that. I know someone that, kind of want to use my idea, but they can't do the things that I'm doing right now. They can, number one, they cannot use, they don't, the gifting that I have of how to help people discover their life purpose. They can't do it because that's a gift and you have that gift. And when they copy it, they will always be behind you. They're in your shadow. They're walking in your shadow. Understand that. Okay. They will never come to the light. So keep that in mind. But if they steal the idea and it works for them, it's because they were also in their purpose. Okay. Keep that in mind. Now, the next thing is you want to go ahead and brainstorm. So your brain is thinking, Every time when you are in your journey, when you are in your purpose, remember I said you're always going to be thinking of ways to persevere, to overcome the self-doubt, to overcome the anxiety, to overcome the loss, to overcome the setbacks. So you are going to ensure that you also have to recuperate, because this is something you're passionate about, so you're going to be very self-driven. Okay, so you have to make sure that you're going to have to work on how to just quiet the brain sometimes. Okay, it's going to be hard because it's really who you are and you love it, so you're going to be doing it every time. The next thing I also want you to understand is that when you are in your journey, right, you're trying to stay the journey to live in your passion or your purpose. Number Be mindful, right? Don't expect perfection. Don't expect perfection. Somebody asked me last week and they said, oh, they're afraid that if they share, if they decide to go and work, live in their purpose or their passion, they're afraid that their friends will say they suck, right? They're afraid to share their ideas, or maybe you'll say, that food is nasty or whatever that is. Let me help you out, right? If you're in your purpose, for the most part, it's not gonna be that bad. You're gonna be good. Even if you create something, you may be a little more like, what's what I'm looking for? You may be more you may criticize yourself more, but understand that because it's you, it may not be like perfect, right? You see my videos when I first began, it may not be perfect, and that's why I left those videos, because it wasn't perfect. It's not up to par to what society, the glam and everything, right? Now I'm using this, like, look at what I've done. Every time you're gonna keep innovating, so it's not gonna be perfect, and you don't want it to be perfect, okay? Because you're gonna keep growing. So, when people give you feedbacks, you don't be so closed off. Be open-minded, right? Because negative or positive, either way, just my sister has told me, like, just say, okay, thank you for that feedback. I appreciate it. You may think it's a stupid idea, but you don't know when it's gonna come to help you out. So feedbacks, right? You want to know who are your support system, who are the people that will tell you the truth. And trust me, oh, my sister was like, Doyin, you need to change those videos. And I was like, oh, I want people to see, how I began and everything. And that's true. But the thing is that I was like, you know what? I was like, all right, time to switch it up. Because she gave me a feedback. Yes, it was not like, okay, it wasn't like maybe what I wanted to hear, but either way, I listened and I'm like, okay, let's try to find a way. But I decided to leave the videos because mine is about, like, one of my core values is about realness. I want to show who the real me is to the society. So these are all very important. Okay. Now the next thing, like I said, don't expect perfection, right? The things you see, people that started, nobody was perfect when they began. Okay, so don't be scared on how it looks at first, right? Your friends, people may criticize, but understand some people are coming from a place of love, but know the people that you have in your network that will tell you the real truth. And sometimes even friends, you never know, people can be jealous, but understand, just listen within your mind. Your spirit will tell you who the people. So discernment is very important, right? So and people will see your growth, so it's fine. They will see your growth on the journey to living your purpose. You have to understand you're stepping out of the crowd. You're going into something that is different. You're going into something that no one has ever done before, like the way you would do it. So let me be honest with you. You may feel and you will feel, at first you will feel lonely. You will feel lonely. You're going into, it's like the road less traveled. But guess what? That loneliness, you're going to utilize it to help you to feel alone. What do I mean that the loneliness you're going to utilize it to feel alone? What do I mean by that? Loneliness, right? You feel you're missing out. Your friends are doing, you feel like, but that time that you don't have people around you, they may not, maybe up to par with the idea that you have in mind, right? You may feel like, oh my God, I feel like I'm talking to deaf ears. Nobody's really listening, right? This may be a foolish idea. It sounds too children or childlike. It doesn't sound like something that can come to reality. You're gonna feel that way at first, but the thing is that there's power in that loneliness. There is power in that loneliness. You want to utilize that to your advantage, and that's where the research work comes into play. That is, now it's so crazy because that loneliness is gonna turn to you being alone, and you can be alone and not feel lonely. You're gonna be doing, like, your mind is thinking of ideas that you're gonna come up with, what you want to do, and those are gonna be your best friend, right? And you're still gonna have friends, you're gonna have fun, don't get it wrong. But like I said, you will be that alone time. Nobody, like, look at Amazon. right? I'm sure he was alone in his garage, right? Where his friends were having fun. So you to create something big, you're stepping out of the crowd. You're not doing what everybody else is doing. So understand, it's a journey, but eventually the world is gonna be attracted to what you're doing, and they will want to come towards you because now they see a gift, and now they want to draw towards it. Okay, so this is and that loneliness is gonna turn to aloneness, and it's gonna build your resilience. Okay, so like I said, your passion is gonna give you joy. So you understand that it's not gonna make you feel alone. You will feel fulfilled more, and money cannot buy that. Okay, in the long run, purpose and passion pays more than just being in your niche. There is a lady, her name is, she calls herself CPTV, and she said riches in the niches. Yes, absolutely. When you're in the right environment, you will be rich in your niches. But for you to gain wealth, that's purpose. So riches in the niches, and I say wealth in your purpose. That's the way it works. So let's go a little farther here. So don't chase talent alone. You want to chase passion. You want to monetize your passion. If your talent is attached to being passionate about it, yeah, chase after that. So the next thing, so the question is, can passion put food on the table? If you are at first, if you're just doing something you're passionate about, you may not make money at first, but but the area that to finish that question is, can passion put food on the table? Yes, the only time that it will is when you are in your right environment, in the right company, right niche, right career area. It will put money on your table. But what will really give you money and wealth 100% than you can ever imagine is purpose. People, everybody that has been great, Oprah, Elon Musk, all of these people, they monetize their passion. You're supposed to work for purpose, not money. When you pursue your purpose, money will chase you like no other. Okay, when you discover your purpose, it pays you a lot. One thing I discovered that God wants you, right? God wants each and every one of us to live out our dreams, and the way that you can live out your dreams is by living in your purpose. The job you do will give you riches if you are in the right career environment. But understand, it's not necessarily going to give you wealth. Purpose will. Okay? Initially, purpose does not pay initially. The way purpose pays, I'll explain to you, is like your niche is going to fuel your purpose, which means the career you may be in that is with your right design, right gifting, will fuel the purpose. Then later on, the purpose takes over, and then pays pretty much takes care of everything. So whatever you're designed to be for life, you want to make sure that you be that and live in that. Don't be carried away because this is what's in vogue. If you may not be designed to do what is in vogue. Hi, hello, Ade.
Hi.
How are you? Oh,
Okay, I've
oh,
really been enjoying your speech.
thank you. I appreciate. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I didn't know you are in New Jersey. I'm in New Jersey as well.
Oh yes, I'm in New Jersey. Yes, I'm in New Jersey. I don't want to give my address out, but yes, I'm in New Jersey. It's lovely to see you. Can you
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about what you do and how did you find out about Rethink Life with Doyin? Just wondering.
I'm a PMHNP and I'm a member of the expert group. But
Beautiful.
now I'm working with my advanced depression,
Mm.
which is the TMS, transmagnetic
Yeah, magnetic. Yep. Go ahead.
medication for depression. Everybody,
Beautiful.
even though they've taken medications, but it's not helping. So we are using the transmagnetic stimulation,
Mhm.
and also I work with Spravato. Is
Mm.
the nasal esketamine nasal spray for the
Treatment resistance depression.
treatment
Yes.
resistance.
Correct. Yes.
So that's the area where I am right now.
Amazing. And do you own your business or you working with well, that requires you to work with someone. Am I correct so far?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
Company, but I'm not getting all the 100% medication management.
Gotcha. I got
Yeah,
you.
So
I yeah, I coach for that as well. I do that in my practice. And one thing about I'm the founder and CEO for UBridge Health. And one thing that I do is in my company, I'm all about building leadership. I want to build leaders. A lot of companies, well, that's what we're supposed to do. 'Cause the company is supposed to improve you, not subdue your gifts. So you want to make sure you're in the right environment, a place that would allow your gifts to thrive, not necessarily oppress it and deem you down or deem your light. So I help people. The people that I have people in my practice, they've opened their business as well. Okay, and they're also working with me to learn right a little bit more than even, and I also learn from them. It's a two-way street. You're washing somebody's hands, you're washing your own too. So this is what I do, and I've been doing that when I first began my practice. I've been helping people along the path, along the way. I have a PMHMP group as well that I also run. I tell people to ask me questions, but like I said, before I do anything for anyone or help anyone, I always do this analysis of how to discover your life purpose and your niche, because I want your business to stand for something. I want you to be a person of value, not just you. I'm doesn't I don't want you to chase after money. What I'm doing here, I know where I need to go because I've now discovered who I am and I discovered myself. And and your business is going to be a reflection of your values. And you want to make sure it's the right values that you uphold. So you can go ahead and open the business and you can have a thriving business because you want to stand out. There's a reason why I do this. UBridge Health stands out because of what I do here, how to help people live in their gifting and monetize that. So trust me, this is going to be a world journey. Okay, this is not just it's not just for now. So do you have any questions for me, by the way?
isn't it a lot of overhead to start your own business?
Not really. Depends. That's
Mm,
why you also get mentorship, so you
yeah.
don't go ahead and yeah, and so some people, depending on what you do, you right. So for example, there are people that open businesses. For example, there's someone that opened businesses. And I told her, I said, your business, but you're also very good. She's also very good with like interior design. So you attach that to your business. So there's a lot of things you can do to attach to your business. So you're still in your gifting, and at the same time you're monetizing it and your passions too. The 10 steps of how to stay the journey to living your purpose. Know your why. Do your research because life will unfold, right? You will see the vision, life unfolds. It's like a pedal, one step at a time. So you want to ensure conscious living, right? Be mindful. Mindfulness is very important. The next step, use your doubts to your advantage, your anxiety to your advantage. Anxiety is a call to action, right? Recuperation. I can say so recuperation, right? You want to recuperate your mind. Give yourself time to also make sure you relax because you're always going to be thinking when you discover your life purpose. You're always going to be thinking of ways to advance. Feedbacks, support system. Live would show you the people. Use your discernment. Be open-minded to feedbacks or criticism. Don't expect perfection. That's number 7. Next is going to be you may feel alone, right? You may feel lonely, but understand, utilize that to your advantage. Use that as your research time. You may feel like nobody's listening, but they will. People will catch up eventually. The next thing is in the long run, passion pays more than niche, right? So your riches are in the niches, but wealth is in the purpose. You are, do what you're designed to be. You're supposed to not pursue money, because if you keep pursuing, you will never catch up to money. But when you discover your life purpose, money will subdue, will overcome you. It's very important that you do not compare your gifting to another. Even this is in the Bible. It's so interesting. You cannot compare your gifts to someone else. Because the thing is that, and it's very similar to what people say, comparison is a thief of joy. When you are in your gifting, when you are in your purpose, when you're working at it, you shouldn't compare yourself to others because you don't know what you carry. And what you carry may be bigger than you ever imagined. For example, I realize that I have the gift to make people feel good about themselves. I realize that I see the world very differently compared to what is being said or being promoted or preached in society. I was very unsure. I was like, I've never seen anyone doing, I've never, at least for me at the time, I did not really see women being inspirational speakers. I saw that a lot of men were doing that, right? I'm young. Like I said, I saw a lot of men doing that, but I didn't see a lot of females doing that. And especially someone like I'm young, someone my age doing that. So I was like unsure. I'm like, would I make money out of this? It wasn't about just making money. It was just like I was making money, but the money that I, number one, I hated the job that I was doing at the time. Like it felt like heavy work. I liked the impact that I left on people, but I felt like this was too much work. So I wanted to make a change. I wanted to change gear. I wanted to do something that was naturally who I am and something that I love. I was even willing to take a pay cut. I was like, listen, I'll find a way to, as long as I'm doing what I love, I was like, I'll find a way to ensure that I can make more money out of it. So, what I'm trying to say to you is that this gifting of mine, of being able to inspire people, I never saw anyone doing it, at least women. And I'm not getting paid to do what I do now. But I could have said to myself, you know what? Since I don't see anybody doing it, I'm not gonna make money out of it, right? I could have said, okay, since I'm not gonna make money out of it, let me go ahead and not do it. But remember what I said to you. Apart from wanting to make money, the bigger part of it was that the passion what was the driving force for me, and it was about you know making a change in the world. Um, and also just following the calling and the things that people have said about me. Um, People will say great things about you. And I want you to lean on that. They will also say negative things, don't get it wrong. But in the journey to your purpose, I want you to focus on the positives that people do say. With what I know now, I know that I can make money out of what I do. I can monetize it. And trust me, whew, yeah, it pays and it will pay even more than what I'm making right now or the company that I own is going to, I'm going to make money because I know that I am utilizing my gift. Even the Bible talks about when you utilize your gift, it's going to make room for you. And it not just make room, but you would even be in the presence of the kings and queens of people that are elite. Your gift will make room for you. I'm not a preacher, don't get it wrong, but I do believe in God. I do believe in God and I do believe in the Christian values. And also, I also believe in the African culture and also what we also, when it comes to the kind of religion, pretty much for me, it's all about, connecting to God. So I do believe in that. I don't believe, that all things we do in Africa or the whatever we worship is devil. No, I don't believe that because I believe God, and I know for certain that God loves everyone, Gentiles, non-believers or not. He loves us all, and He connects with us even if we're not Christians. He connects with us through our conscious being or our conscious mind. So it may not be necessarily Holy Spirit, but He does connect with us through our conscious mind. So my point to you is that don't compare your journey because on your journey, right, if you live in your niche, right, you will make money. So you may not make the money that you really want, like a whole lot of it, right, but you will make money. That's the beauty of it, and that's why it's really crazy because I tell people that God really wants you to live in your gifting. He wants you to thrive for life. So you must do which is naturally you, something that is easy to you. I mean, think about it. A whole being brought you here to earth, dumped you here, right? And then, brought you, came with, gave you some gifts along your journey to utilize. But we decide to just shove it aside because, like I said, we don't. Like I could have said, I've never seen any woman making a lot of money out of my gift of, inspiring people, right? I could have said that and say I'm not gonna do it. But guess what? Um, that's the crazy thing. You must plunge in despite the odds because what you carry, if only you know what you carry, right? It's like that mustard seed that grows and germinates into this big, beautiful, crazy tree. It's the same idea. You don't know what you carry until you plunge into it and you get started. People that are the best at anything, they don't think about competitors, they don't think about the competition. It's so crazy because everything we hear in social media, everything we hear about business, who are your competitors? The competitors are not thinking about you. They're thinking about how they can master and make their craft better. That's what their focus is about. They want to be better than what they were before. They want to be better than where they were yesterday. Look at Google. Look at how innovative Google has been, creating different things. So you don't just want to stay stuck doing the same old thing. Innovation is key, right? It's beautiful key. It's not about experience. Experience is for the old. You keep doing the same thing all over and again, over and over again. It may not necessarily mean that it's effective. So you want to have the innovative mindset. So how do you stay committed to your purpose? Definitely. Another big one is to stay focused on your journey. Stay focused on your vision. You can see inspiration when you look around you with people that are doing the same thing in your niche or or the business ideas you have. You can see it and be inspired, but it does not mean it will work for you. So you want to lean within your vision, lean within your spirit, so that because, like I said, not every step, not every move is the right move. You have to be strategic in your moving. So don't comparison is a thief of joy, and if you compare yourself to others, well, you will only be in their shadow. Thank you, guys. Please stay tuned. Follow me on Rethink Life with Doyin. Thank you. Bye bye. See you soon.
Don't forget, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.